આપણા ઘણા બધાએ આંબેલ શરૂ કર્યું એમને શરૂ કરી ત્યાર I think we have been following it twice a year. Even this year, when we could not all meet, we still did it at home. So that shows how important that has been to our society. So now, with no further, I'm Swanubhuti ji joined. I just want to make sure, Swanubhuti ji.
Yeah, hi,
there. I just want to make sure. Yeah, okay, good. All right. So we have Swanubhuti ji. She's from Mumbai. We did send her introduction, but I will again talk briefly about her specialty. She's very well learned. Right from like after 10th, she went to Pandit Todarmal Smarak. That is like a college 5-year. The students stay there till the bachelor's degree is finished. 5 years straight, they learn all the agam. They learn, Jainism in very thoroughly. They are trained to give lectures. Basically, everybody that comes out of that college is very good pravachan karta and very knowledgeable. So that is where she has graduated from. After that, of course, in her law peak, she has done management course. And after that, just like all of us, she has worked for several companies. She is an excellent manager. The reason I know this is because I am associated with her in the Parmagam Honors course that we run. It's an excellent course. It is a course that teaches you how to apply Jainism in your day-to-day life. And she was the initiator of that. And she is very active. She's excellent when it comes to youth. She does workshops, like all-day workshops, and they're so much fun. And it's amazing how she gets people, in Tattva Gyan with all the fun. And she has a very strong hold on logic, the Jain logic, which is very important to convince people about our Siddhant. She has taught Jainology in University of Mumbai. She has, lot of experience, of course, in the managerial. She's worked for GITO, which I think we also have in America now. And she has spoken at international level and in India, of course, she's always invited to speak all over the place. So without much delay, on to you, Swanubhuti ji. We've been really looking forward to this. I know we've had to change one time, so everybody's looking forward to you speaking.
Thank you, Prabhaji. Jai Shinendra, everybody. I hope I'm audible pretty well. So we sort out sound issues if there are any. Okay, great. It would be good if you also tell me tentative timelines in terms of how much, for how long can I speak?
You can speak for an hour. And we'll quickly ask a few questions. And then if audience has any further questions, we'll take.
Sure, great. So it's nice to see this group. And while I'll try to talk not more than 40 to 40, particularly given the one slot, I think we'll try to make it a little more interactive. So that it's a two-way communication, good for both of us. So great, I'll begin from there. मैं कौन हूँ, आया कहाँ से, और मेरा रूप क्या, संबंध दुखमय कौन है, स्वीकृत करूँ परिहार क्या. So the topic that we will be dealing with today is why Veetragta. Before we really proceed on to understanding the why, I really would want to get a small poll and understand how many of us have heard this word, Veetragta. You can just raise your hand if you want, and that would really, give me an indication. I could see 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
होता है ऐसे yellow.
7, 8. Wait. Can I say 50%? How many of you don't understand what is Veetragta? Now, I want the people who have never heard of this word ever, who don't understand what is Veetragta. Okay, so we have.
I mean, I think I know.
Okay, we have some people. Great. Cool. So, actually speaking, Veetragta is that one concept that separates Jainism from all the other religions of the world. So, if we call ourselves Jain, if Jainism is what unites us, it is our first and foremost duty to understand what is it that separates Jainism from all the other religions, philosophies of the entire world. And that's the topic we are going to tackle today. Now, of course, before the why, we'll understand what. But I think before the what of Veetragta also, there's something else that we should know, because they're talking about me here. I need to understand my existence before we really understand what I'm trying to understand. So, coming back to us, what makes us? It's a very simple question. What makes us? Who are we actually? Or actually, the more apt question should be, what do we think we are? You must have heard this sentence, a lot of people, saying to a lot of people, who do you think you are? Who do you think I am? We have spoken in these words a lot of times. But do you really realize that while we keep quizzing on this, do we really understand who we are and what people are around us? What makes us? What is our existence like? So, we feel that our existence is what we see in the mirror. A lot of us feel that our existence is what our process, our belief that we do, what we talk about, all of this together makes. But let's try to just dissect this entire phenomena and try to understand where we lie exactly. So, most of the times, if I were to ask you, can you introduce me to a sadhu? What makes a sadhu? Who is a sadhu? I'm asking a very simple question. So the normal answers that I would, he who has renounced, he who, is not clad or minimalistically clad in certain cases. You'll talk about who follows certain kind of sanyam, who does tap. I'm sure looking at the gentry, you understand these words sanyam and tap. Or do you want like literal translation of every single word? Maybe one of you can represent. That's okay.
I think they know. Yeah.
Great. So you would say somebody who does an upvas, an ambil, who follows a certain kind of regime, a lifestyle. Are these the right answers? All of them are completely, absolutely wrong. And I'll tell you why. What defines a mother? A mother is the one who takes care of the food of the children. A mother is the one, who would wake up in the morning and wake up the children on time, tell them what to do, when to do, how to do. Is that what defines a mother? You can nod your head like this or like this. Is that what defines a mother? The love of the mother defines the motherliness. I may not know how to cook. I must have never, isn't it? I must not have woken my child on time, but that does not mean I am a lesser of a mother. Because mother is not the actions that you see. Mother is not claiming to be a mom. It does not need you to claim all the time saying, I'm your mom. Shouldn't you be respecting me? I'm your mom. Shouldn't you do this for me? Shouldn't you do that for me? Because the love of the mother is the real essence of the mother. And that's what gets reflected in a lot of words and the actions that come across, which may be different in certain cases, which may look similar in certain cases. But that's not what defines the mother. So, when you talk about a sadhu, you talk about a sage, you talk about a muni. I'm coming from the example of the mother to the sadhu to us. That how can my it's the belief, the thought process, the attitude of the sadhu that defines and gets reflected in the actions or the words that he says. And that's what really defines him. Now, where are we confused? We have a certain kind of an attitude which defines our speech, which defines our actions. Our actions are not what we are. Our speech is not what we are. Yes, my thought process, my belief system, my attitude does get reflected in my speech, does get reflected in my action at times. And when it does, when my real self in my action, that is what probably may signify what I really am. But that is not what I really am. Now, what kind of examples I will take you here from is, for example, I have been donating a lot of money in most of the events that I go for, whether they are social, religious, or all kinds of political, all kind of events. You have known me as a person who keeps donating most of the times. How would you judge me? Let's take this as an example. How would you really judge me? I'm a kind soul. I'm not greedy. Is that what you will think of me? I have no ego. Is that what you think of me? The fact probably might be, it may be, not necessarily, but it may be that I am driven by the greed of punya. You know what is punya, right? Certain words I'm taking the liberty to continue the way they are. So I may be really very greedy rather. Why? Because I was so shrewd. I knew that I spent, say, 40, 50 years of my life collecting all this wealth. I know for sure that I'm not going to live forever. I know I can't transfer this wealth in my next life in the form that it seems like, right? It's all going to lie back here once my soul departs the body. I am so greedy. I thought I will cheat the karmas, I will cheat the world, I will cheat myself actually in a way by doing this. But what I really go about doing is I'll convert my currency when I go from India to US into US dollars because I know the rupees are not relevant there. I'm converting the currency of the wealth that I see here into punya because that's the currency I carry forward in my next life, isn't it? Am I greedy or am I greedless in this particular case? What have I really done? You think I'm not greedy because I'm giving away the wealth that you see. But the fact is that what I'm giving away is not, when I give away the rupees for dollars, I'm not giving it away. I'm just converting it. When I'm giving away the wealth in anticipation of the punya, it's an exchange, it's a business, it's a transaction, isn't it? Something I'm giving and something I'm getting. How can that make me a Mahan? How can I be a great person because I'm giving away the wealth in anticipation of the punya? Does it make sense? So does my action define me in that case? No. There are people who will give away the wealth because they must have taken an oath at some point in time that, if I get married, I will donate so much. If I get this job, I will donate so much. If I get this contract, I will donate so much. If I'm blessed with a child, I will donate so much. If my mother becomes well, so much. If I get rid of this disease, I will donate so much. And you are donating. How does that define you? Isn't that a transaction again? Sometimes you're paying in advance and sometimes you're paying on the spot. But end of the day, it's a transaction again. You're giving something to get something. It's advance booking of something that you're anticipating. Now I'm talking about just daan here, huh? It can be applied on everything. It can apply on every activity that I do, like an upvas, like going to temple, like hearing a pravchan, like reading, reading good books. Everything that we do in the name of religion, in the name of a good deed. Some people are doing it for ego, to boost their ego. It feels good, when people are, if I donate, so some people you will start having, trust in me, and then I do a business transaction, it'll make sense. So I'm not even counting those people who are completely doing it from a completely ill intention. A lot of times it's so subtle. In fact, to the extent that if I'm really doing something for the cause of the people, I really, wanted to help people and hence I donated. I'll tell you what, you are deriving the satisfaction, the happiness out of that deed, and you're actually doing it for that satisfaction, isn't it? You'll say you're making look everything so bad. Huh? Am I trying to make look every good intention bad here? I'm just trying to make you introspect about this aspect. That what is the real driver? Now, coming to the point of that, maybe my action seems like I am donating. Maybe the way I talk, my speech says that I am donating. But what makes you is not action, not your words. What makes you is the intention behind it. Do you agree with this? Your intention, your thought process, your belief system, your attitude is only what you are and what defines you. What you do, what you say does not make a difference. It may reflect sometimes, it may not reflect sometimes. Now, to take an example of, for example, I'm a poor girl, okay? I have no money. I have just no money at all. I earn and I spend the money. So I'm hand to mouth, actually speaking. I go in an event. I think the work that they are doing is really good. Huh? I mean, I believe in the cause. And I'm quietly sitting there. I have no money to spare. But I feel internally that, if I were a Bill Gates, if I had that spare money, if I could, I would have financed and sponsored this entire activity, this entire initiative. I would have done it. I think it should be done. I didn't speak about it. I didn't do anything. I didn't spare a penny. Tell me, I am trying to compare the punya of this person, who felt internally, who had the intention to give, who felt like giving. It's different that he was a deprived being. The punya that this person earns and the punya that this other person earns who has actually donated, say for example, who is like a Bill Gates, who's like a billionaire, multi-billionaire, and who's donated, say for example, a $10,000 or $100,000 or $1,000,000. Tell me the difference between these two people. Who is earning more punya. I'd like some reactions. I'd like some kind of inputs from you all.
Can we please speak from the audience? And those of you who can unmute your videos, please do.
So I would just think that I don't know about punya, but definitely the person who has done the action, I would consider him as more serious in his thought process, because a lot of times we can have a lot of thoughts and we can confuse dreams with thoughts. We can think of a lot of things, but when it actually comes to doing, we are more serious about it. So definitely I'll give more value to the action if he's committed that action, someone has committed that action.
So if you were an onlooker, what you said is right. If you were a person who couldn't see the intentions, you were right. If you were the karma, what would have you done? Raji also wants to sing.
If I could look inside the person and actually gauge his thoughts.
Yes, I will.
Oh, okay, Risha is saying, I think that's what the name shows across. He's continuing something. Please continue. Chandraji will just come back to you. I think he's replying to that point. I would want to hear that. Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to say that if I could actually look inside that person and I could actually gauge how serious his thoughts are, then maybe my views would be different.
Great.
I would say they are necessary and important. Basically, just intention would not be enough. The action also has to be. And just an action for the sake of show off without any good intention is not good either. So, as we say, that one comes under Vyavharnaya, other comes in Nishchayana. If our intentions and thoughts and everything is good, that's a Nishchayana, but Vyavharnaya may be humko, usne kuch to, we have to take action, we have to do the things, we have to perform. So, we cannot, just deny the importance of one and just say the two. It could be more or less, intention are very important, extremely important, but it should also be accompanied with the action.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for your views. Now, coming to the point of what the fact is, okay? See, karmas don't see your actions. Now, hold on. You'll have to have some patience before I finish off this entire topic, huh? Karma don't see your actions. Why? Because where are the actions happening? The actions are happening in the body, right? Or outside of the body. What makes the body? Does the soul make the body? No. The body is made up of inanimate particles, which are, if you've heard about the 6 dravyas and the Pudgal dravya. So the body is made out of Pudgal, which is inanimate, which is non-living. If, a part of your body gets cut off and it lies there for a while till all the Atma's Pradesh come back out of it, it's as good as the mud lying on the street. Isn't it? Because the body is made up of complete inanimate particles. Now, when the karma, please understand one more thing. The karma is not animate either. It's made up of Pudgal. The karma is again a reflection of something. Now, the karma is a reflection of my intention, my thought process, my attitude. How can what I do physically reflect in the karma? Not possible. Now, I will still come to another point here. What you guys said is not actually completely wrong. There is an aspect to it, but I'll come to that. Give me a moment here. Now we talk about, mother. Coming back to the mother here. This is not the fact. This is just an example. As a child, I had very strict parents, okay? My mother kept scolding me all the time. My dad was very strict. Disclaimer, this is just an example, okay? Now, my mother was very strict. She kept scolding me all the time. If I did something terribly wrong, I even got beaten up, okay? My dad did not allow me doing anything at all. I couldn't even move out of my house without taking his permission. Least, talk about going out of the house after 8 p.m., for example. Now, why was I living up with such parents? I should have just, run away, isn't it? That's what you should advise your kids if that's how the parents are. Wouldn't you? Just say a yes or a no. You know what? A lot of times my dad actually shoot me out of the door and, or shut me into in a room for a couple of days at times. He told me at times, get out of this house. Don't show me your face. But you know what? I kept coming back to him. I never left the house. Even if, my mom spanked me, I went back to her and hugged her. And I wanted the love. And I knew she loved me within. Tell me, a lot of us would have divorced our spouses when things went wrong. How many of us ever wanted to divorce our parents or run away from them? What defines my mom is not the action, not the words. She must be saying, don't show me your face. She must be saying, I don't like you. Get out of here. Get out of my life. But I know end of the day, if I really need somebody, my mom will be there for me. I know she can give up her life for me. I know all that my dad does is for me. Because a child, even if that child is a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old, sees the love of the mother even when the mother is trying to shoo the child away. I'm just trying to tell you that a child knows that he should see the intention. Even if a stranger shows a lot of love, showers candies, the child will still not go with the stranger because he knows it's not the action. The intention of the stranger is unknown. It may be wrong. However good a neighbor is, however good your relatives are, the child will always go back to the mother because the child can see through what we as adults can't see through at times. Coming back to the karmas here. Karmas are automatic. They are a reflection of something. I go to an X-ray machine and I keep saying that I don't have a fracture. I don't have a fracture. Will the X-ray machine reflect my speech? Will the X-ray machine, can I ditch the X-ray machine by trying to walk straight? What will the X-ray machine do? It will see the state of your bone and reflect only that, because X-ray machine can't be deceived. You can deceive a human being by saying something or acting in a certain way. You can deceive a police officer. You can deceive a judge. You can't deceive an X-ray machine. You can't deceive the CT scan. You can tell your family members, I have no diabetes, my sugar is in check. Can you deceive your blood test? You can't. Because in the world of inanimate, there's no deception. Everything is automatic. Dada always gives an example. Say, for example, I own a weighing scale. Okay. There are 2 weighing scales here. One is manual and one is automatic. Okay. The manual weighing scale, a man has been told to stand there. Anybody who comes and weighs himself has to give $1 each. He's been given this instruction. And he's a very honest man, let me tell you, okay? He's very, very utterly honest man. Another weighing machine is made in such a manner that you have to put $1 bill inside, only then it will show your weight. Okay. Now, in my case, where the man is manning the machine, if somebody weighed himself or herself and there was an error and he said, I want to weigh myself again, the bill is already given. I'm a very honest man, but I will allow him to weigh himself again on the same $1 that he has given me. Come to another example. I wanted to weigh myself. Will I submit that $1 bill and then weigh myself? Or I will, even if I'm testing, the machine, I will just stand, weigh myself and not give the $1 bill. If The owner himself or herself comes there. Will this honest man ask the owner to give him $1 bill? Maybe not. Because he knows he is the owner. Eventually, this money is all going back to him. But now you come in the case of the automatic machine. If the bill is gone inside and somebody wants to weigh himself second time or third time, the same guy consecutively, you have to keep pushing in $1 bill inside. If I have to weigh myself even to test the machine, I have to push $1 bill inside. Even if the owner comes in to test or just see itself, himself, how much she weighs, he will have to put the $1 bill inside. Because when some management is done automatically, it is guided by certain rules. Human beings can deviate, machines don't. Karma is inanimate. I can sometimes change. See, if you ask me to come again tomorrow and deliver the same lecture again, I can guarantee you I can't repeat exactly the same words again. Not possible. I have not ratified a speech to come and tell you. I can't repeat exactly everything with the same expression, with the same gesture. No, not possible. But if you play it on YouTube tomorrow, can you expect exactly everything to be the same, even 100 times for that matter? Yes. Because machines can't be deceived. Karma is a machine. And karma is trained to only look at your intention, your thought process, your attitude. Karma is not trained to look at what happens in the outside world. The speech is not your world. The action of the body is not your world. The money that you give from one bank account to another bank account, which is called charity, is not your world. How is karma understand that money has been transferred from one bank account to another bank account? How does the karma understand that? Karma is not calculating what happens to your bank account. Karma is calculating what happens in your mind. In there. And more than the mind and the thought process, I am thinking, I'll say, okay, I'm thinking good. I am donating. I have to think about it, right? Otherwise, how will the karma get to know? The karma can see through it's an X-ray machine. It can see through the thoughts to the intentions that you really have. 99% of the times, you can deceive your thought process. You can't deceive the karmas. Karmas can see the intentions that you don't know about, for that matter. Isn't it amazing? Like the X-ray machine knows what you don't know. You may feel you have a fracture. The X-ray machine knows you have a fracture. You may deceive yourself at times, but the X-ray machine can't be deceived. The karma is an X-ray of your thought process, of your intention, more than that. Now, where were the two people who said were also right only in certain cases? Okay, mark that. In certain cases, where your words are a pure reflection of your intention, thought process, and attitude. Like at times, when I'm angry on my child, it's not really angry, huh? You know that, isn't it? That's on the surface. The anger is on the surface. Internally, I can give my life for my child. But on the surface, I am angry. So, what will karma catch here? The intention or the anger on the surface? The intention. The child is also catching the intention. So in this particular case also, when I am saying that I am donating, I want to help people, I am doing charity, at times, in certain cases, when my speech is also a reflection of my intention, when my anger is also a reflection of my intention, because it's not only that the mothers get angry in the world, even evil people do get angry, isn't it? And their anger is for real. It's the real reflection of their inner self. In that case, when your intention has started showing in your thought process, the thought process has started showing in your attitude, and your attitude has started showing in your speech and your action, that level, when it reaches in your action, which is full of your intention and the thought process, in those certain cases, yes, The action is defining my thought process or my intention. Only in those cases, yes, I can judge that person by the action, but not in all the cases. In fact, 99.99% cases, it is the other way around. Your action are not what you think about. You go to the temple, okay? You were doing a job for the last like half an hour or something, right? How many of you did the job? I'm sure 36 participants will all raise their hands and say, we all did it. No. I'm not talking about action. I'm not talking about speech. How many of us were mentally doing the job? How many of us believed in what was being said in the words of? How many seconds or minutes did you really do the job? You may say, I did the job for half an hour. The fact the karmas will only, in the X-ray machine of the karma, it will appear that the job was done for 1 minute, 0 minutes, 5 minutes. Because it will filter out only those moments when you were really doing the job. I can bet if I were to, ask you for the meaning of the entire job, 80% people probably may say, I don't understand the meaning 100%. Prabhaji, next time, in rotation, have everybody explain the meaning of the job in totality, okay? Give everybody one chance. How many of you are volunteering for the very first time? We can do that immediately after my lecture. If you want, I can curtail my lecture and we can have one of you volunteer for it. How many of you are confident about it? So then you did not do the job for half an hour. And karma can see that. I can't see it. Prabhaji can't see it. A lot of people here on the group can't see it. Sometimes you yourself don't know. Was I supposed to actually? Was that expected? No. We do the Parmagam Honors course, and believe you me, we explain the meaning of Namokar Mantra in the very first lecture. And a lot of people, who have been going to the temple daily, who don't even, eat or drink anything without going to the temple, who have been, which are happening at times, they will say that these aspects of Namokar Mantra we didn't know. So, in the benefit of the time that we have, I would like to conclude this part saying that our intention, our thought, and our attitude is what defines us, and that's what our existence is all about. The action, the speech, the external things that we do does not matter at all. So that man in the example, I in the example, who was a deprived being who had no money at all, there is a very, very high possibility that just by, and not by cheating myself internally, but really genuinely, if I had the feeling that I wanted to donate, and if I had the money, I would have donated, I would have earned much more punya, which Bill Gates must have not earned. Or a person like Bill Gates must have not earned. A lot of times, Bill Gates doesn't know where his money is being donated, for all you know. Because Melinda Gates knows. Bill Gates doesn't know. The money, okay, must be earned by him. So Melinda will earn the punya and not Bill. Let me tell you that. To the extent he had, the same thought process, yes, he would gain the benefits. Where he didn't know, he would not earn. And again, it depends upon what was his intention. I mean, did he give because he had a lot of it and he didn't know what to do about it? So I think sometimes in my house, if there are a lot of guests and I have, I was expecting 30 guests and I cooked food for 40 and I had, a lot of extra food and I gave it away because I didn't want it to get wasted. Tell me, I'm giving it because I wanted to give it, or because I think it was in excess, I didn't know what to do with it. So I rather gave it. Maybe that's what is happening with the Bill Gates. And in this case of this deprived person who did not have the money, this is genuine. If she did have the money, he would have actually given. So it's your intention which defines your punya. It's your intention. I could not go to the temple in all the lockdown period. But even, sitting in my house, if my intention, my thought process, my, entire attitude was that, no, I am going down to the Siddhas. Siddhas are there everywhere. Do you know that? Just look above you. If you can see the sky, siddhas are everywhere. I can bow down to them. And bowing is not about, if I'm paralyzed, can I bow down? If I'm paralyzed, I can still bow down, because bowing down is not an action of the body. That respect comes from within. If the respect is there, I have done it. If I'm doing an upvas and I'm waiting for the moment when this period will get over and I'll start eating back again, then what you have done is just tried to delay your food. It's not upvas. People do it even when they diet. Because what was the intention? The intention was punya. The intention was ego boosting. The intention was community. Be true to yourself. Forget the karmas here. It's about, can we be true to ourselves, or we just want to deceive ourselves every moment of our life? We end up deceiving ourselves most of the times. Don't you think how foolish are we in doing that? Now, once this is established, that I am what my intention makes me, I am what my thought process makes me, I am what my attitude makes me. These are called Gyan, Darshan, and Charitra. If these are the three words that you have heard about. Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, Samyak Charitra. That is when everything is right. Your intention, your knowledge, your thought process, your attitude. When everything is right, it is called Samyak. When everything is wrong, it is an illusion. It is called Mithya. And that's what defines us. If I am Mithya Drishti, if there is Mithya Darshan, Mithya Gyan, Mithya Charitra, that's what defines me today. If I am Samyak Drishti, Samyak Gyan, Samyak Charitra, that's what defines me today. Even if I am in Mithya, the intensity of my intention, thought process, attitude, that defines me, and that defines my karma, and that defines my present, and that defines my future, and that defines my existence. And it all to decide the right thing. Now, if this is what really defines me, my question is, what is my religion? How would you define a religion to be? The religion of fire is the heat. The religion of salt is the sourness. What is the religion? The religion is the nature. Like the religion cannot ever be changed. This is an illusion when we say that we belong to different religions. There's only one religion. The religion of the fact, the religion which is the science, the religion of things as they are. What is my religion? What is my religion? Gyan is my religion. That's what I always do. Tell me one person in this entire world who claims to be whatever religion they belong to. Are they conscious about things? Do they accept that they have consciousness? Consciousness is my religion. How many of you would not agree with this? Please raise your hands. Consciousness is my religion. And if I say consciousness is my religion, what reflects in the consciousness is what I do. Now, going one step further from consciousness, Veetragta is my religion. Now, what am I trying to say here? Let's understand what is Veetragta. Rag. What is the meaning of rag? Rag means attachment. What is the meaning of dvesh? It means aversion. If you want to sum up all the kashai in the world, and you understand what is kashai, right? The passions. Krodh, man, maya, lobh. Krodh, man, maya, lobh. These are the 4 kashai. These can also be called rag and dvesh. Right? The 4 kashai can also be called rag and dvesh. Because 2 kashai are in the form of rag and 2 kashai are in the form of dvesh. What is hatred? Hatred is love, and love is hatred. They are the 2 sides of the same coin. Do we realize that? A lot of us must have heard this, quotation which says, love is God. Love is the ultimate religion. Love is what we aspire for. You must have heard of this. A lot of us maybe also believe in that. You know what does Jainism say? Jainism says, and Jainism is the religion of the soul. Okay? Jainism is the science of the soul. Jainism is the fact. Jainism is what heat is to fire. So Jainism says that any love, any form of love, however good or pious it is, it will always lead to hatred. Because they are the two sides of the same coin. Can I logically prove this? Do you know how would it be? See, if I love something very dearly, very, very dearly, selflessly, and somebody deprives me of that, will I hate the person? If that is taken away, the deeper the love, the deeper and more intense the hatred, isn't it? You know what? The other day, I put my garbage bag in the dustbin. Somebody just took it away without telling me. Do you think I was sad? Do you think it made me sad? I had no whatsoever love for the garbage bag, right? So if somebody took it, I was rather happier. No love, no hatred. But I kept my brand new car and somebody just drove with it. I had waited all my life to get this car. I had spent all my savings to buy this car. And somebody just took it away. Forget taking it away. If somebody even puts a scratch on it, you know what kind of reaction to expect. The more the love, the deeper the love, the intenser the love, it is in direct proportion to the hatred. Love cannot exist without hatred, and hatred won't exist without love. Rag and Dvesh are the two sides of the same coin. So if I think that there would be love everywhere and there would be no hatred, it would never happen. You must have heard of this, you all Indians, that the main cause of all the biggest of the wars in the history have been three things. You will not find the fourth thing. It is Jar, Joru, Jameen. Jar is the wealth. Joru is the women. And Jameen is land. There wouldn't be a fourth reason of any war, any fight, any differences. A brother becomes an enemy of his brother because of wealth. He may become an enemy of his brother because of land. And unfortunately, if both of them fall for the same girl, you know what will happen. These are the three reasons. It was the love of wealth, it was the love of women, it was the love of land, or it was the hatred of the three that led to the war. Love leads to hatred. There cannot be a world where there's only love. It's just impossible. And what Jainism says is, where will be peace? Where there is just love? Not possible, because love comes as a package deal with hatred. So there will be peace in the universe, there will be peace in the world only and only when there is neither love nor hatred, which is Veetragta. Veetragta, when you say rag, it means no attachment. When you say no attachment, it already encompasses hatred. Because hatred is the other side of the coin of love. So when you say Veetrag, rag means attachment. Veet means the one who's done with attachment. One whose attachment is over, it's gone. It's a bygone for him. So non-attachment is Veetragta. Now, logically speaking, do you really think that somebody who's Veetragi can be happy, is happy? That's the only way to be happy? Just think about it. Think about it. Let me tell you first and the foremost thing, because I'm talking to a Jain audience particularly. If I was probably talking to somebody else, I would have taken a different course of discussion. That you all know Namokar Mantra, you all know what 5 Parmeshtis are. Somebody who doesn't know what Arhant, Siddha, Acharya, Upadhyaya and Sadhu are, please raise your hand if you don't know what these 5 are. We know, right? We all know. Why do we really praise them? What is great about Arhant, Siddha, Acharya, Upadhyaya and Sadhu? That they love everybody, that they hate anybody. What sets them apart? Why are they our ideals? Arihant, the first quality of Arihant, the very, very first quality of Arihant is that he is Veetragi. And the second quality that we talk about, that is Sarvagya, all-knowing. We love Arihant not because he will give me something, not because he will give me peace, not because he will take me out of this world, not because he will give me wealth, not because he will, maybe give my soul peace after this life. He can't. He just can't. Then why do I worship Arihant? Because he is Veetragi. Why do I worship Siddha? Because he is Veetragi. Why do I worship Acharya, Upadhyaya and Sadhu? Because they are on the path of Veetragta and much, much more advanced. They are in a very advanced stage of Veetragta. To the extent that if somebody were to put a, put a snake on them, put fire on their head, what do you think a sadhu would do? Nothing. And if the same person who's put the fire on their head comes before them and asks them to give them gyan, they will give them gyan with the same bhav as they would give to any of the other person who's been worshipping them all their life. Does not make a difference. Our 5 Parmeshtis are our ideals because and only because they are Veetragi and on the path of Veetragta. Veetragta is our religion. That's the natural form of the soul. Peace can only be sought if we are completely Veetragi. And when you say Veetragta, you will all include all the Punya Bhav into it. Not only Pap Bhav, not only the bad deeds, all the good deeds, the so-called good deeds that we think, are the ideal of my life, the ultimate things that I should be doing in my life, they are also included in the Punya Bhav. And Veetragta is no Punya. Veetragta is no kind of rag, neither good nor bad, nothing at all. And why is that our ideal? Is because that's where you will find peace. If your goal of your life is peace, to find peace, that peace can only be brought in your life if you're Veetragi. The more detached you are, just imagine, okay? I get attached to anything, right? Anything for that matter. Will it make me insecure about losing it? Yes. Attachment means bondage. The word attachment means I want to hold on to it. And the word detachment means I'm free. Now tell me, do you want to be bound by the things in the world or do you want to be free? Can peace be when you're free or when you're dependent on things? Love binds. Best form of punya also binds. Attachment says in the very word, it attaches you to things which you are not. And to be free, to be liberated means detachment. The word itself says that you need to be detached to be free. Can a bird fly if you tie its legs with a string? If there's attachment, the bird can't fly. So we are also attached in this world. Even with the good things, if I am attached, I cannot be free. I cannot be liberated. I cannot be at peace. See, if I depend my misery on the miseries of the world, there will be no day when there will be no misery in the world. Will the lion stop eating its prey? Will there be a day ever when the lion will stop eating any animal? So there will be misery in the world, right? Okay, if the lion itself dies without getting any food, there'll still be misery in the world. Either the lion will be unhappy or the animals will be unhappy. One has to be unhappy. The in the world, as far as there is attachment, there cannot be ultimate happiness. Because the world cannot be free of misery forever and all the time. If there are good people, there are bad people. If bad people do bad things, the karma will not spare them, isn't it? See, there is no anyaya in this world, no injustice. Because whoever is reaping has sown, and whoever is sowing will reap. So there is a complete balance. There is justice everywhere. I can't give anybody justice. I can only give myself justice. I have been wrong. I can correct that. I can't correct the world. Whom will I correct? I'll correct the lion or I'll correct the animals. Not possible, not feasible, not practical. Just not possible to do that. So the sum and substance of this entire talk is that Veetragta is the ultimate religion, non-attachment. If I want to be free, if I want to be liberated, Veetragta is what I will have to follow. Detachment, non-attachment is what I will have to follow. Following will come secondary. We will do when it comes. It has to begin with our belief. The belief system has to be right. The belief system should say that Veetragta is my true religion. If the belief is right, the thoughts will be right. If the thoughts are right, your attitude will be right. Once these three are right, it will take a while when it starts appearing in your speech and in your actions, but that's okay. Because the real important self, my existence, is into my belief, my thought, and my attitude. So detachment in my belief, detachment in my thought process, detachment in my attitude, not wholly manifested overnight, but in my belief that this is the right way to go. That's what we should aim for. If our belief is right, we can call ourselves true Jain. If we have not understood the essence of Jainism, I think this is all on the surface that we are calling ourselves Jain. It's only for the namesake. We have not really understood the essence of Jainism. Of course, a lot of pointers which I have opened up also need a lot of elaboration and detailing further, which I'm sure if the need is created, you will find your own answers. And it's a very, very nice group that I have interacted with today. I will open up the house for any questions here on.
Thank you, Swanubhuti Ji. So now we will open. Anybody has any doubts, questions, anything with Swanubhuti Ji? We can take those first. Otherwise, I was going to ask a few questions of the audience. You can raise your hand or just, if more people can open up their video, I would appreciate that.
I think you can go with your audience question so that will benefit everybody.
Okay.
I think
Okay,
Meena
good.
ji has a question.
It's like nobody has any questions.
Meena Mehta has a
Can I get a
question.
nod if you have a question? Okay, so let me ask a few questions.
Meena Mehta has a question.
And
she has written
and
there.
Try to answer to the best of what you remember from the talk. So first question is, what is religion? What do we know of as religion? And now we can speak. Are you guys okay if I just take names? Because these are pretty simple questions.
So I had a question.
Yeah.
So
Ravi, go ahead.
just let me. Sorry. still the echo?
Yeah.
So the question was, what is the difference? So when we're born, we have a body, and that body is not us. That's not our soul.
Right.
And part of our body is our brain. And how do we differentiate between our soul and our brain? So for instance, let's say I've got a disease and it makes me take a medicine. And one of the side effects of that medicine is it causes me to feel more anger. And let's say I hit someone or I get into a fight with someone because I was taking that medicine that I wouldn't have otherwise. Am I getting pap or karma in general for the anger I felt, or am I not? Because like, is that coming from my soul? Is that coming from my brain? Is that coming from my body? Like how does that interact with when we say karma comes to our intention?
Very good question. I appreciate it. So you've touched upon a completely new topic altogether, though, but I'll try to briefly and crisply answer this aspect. So yeah, you were right that the soul enters this body when you're born, and this soul will quit this body when we say that a person has died. Now, like if I'm driving a car. I'm in the car. I enter the car. I get out of the car. While I am in the car, if the car meets with an accident, will it affect me or will it not affect me? It will affect me. If there's a jerk, if there's an accident, if the car gets crashed, if the brakes fail, whatever happens to the car, it is in a manner also influencing me. Does not mean that the existence of the car is my existence and my existence is the existence of the car. So is it possible that two different entities are in the same, they occupy the same place for a certain time being get impacted by each other independently, though I will come to that aspect again, but and then they quit each other's association? That's possible. That's possible. Point number one. Point number two, you asked me what is a brain. The body is a body. A brain is a part of the body, like a heart is a part of the body, like your nervous system is a part of the body. There are so many secretions in the body. So whenever we have an emotion, there is a certain kind of secretion in your body. If there's a certain kind of secretion in your body, there's a certain emotion that it will reflect. Now, when I am pressing the accelerator of the car speeds up. The action of the accelerator, the action of the car is separate, but at the same time, it's interlinked. The speed of the car is also making a difference to what I do inside the car, isn't it? The speed, the direction, a lot of things of the car also make a difference. Not directly, but there's a cause and effect which is called in the word nimitta. You'll have to get into the depth of the word nimitta to understand this concept. So while the soul is in the body, it's like a catalyst, a form of catalyst. It does not participate in the reaction, but it is there. So a nimitta is there, but does not do the things actually. Now that concept we'll get into depth sometime later. But coming back to what happens when I'm thinking about something, when I feel something, what is the soul when there's a brain? A brain is a tool for the soul to analyze. Not only a brain, there is a man which is at the center of our heart here, which is very, very fine, which doctors can't see. That is also made up of, it's a part of a body. And that's where from all the activities of the mind happen. Like the eyes don't see, it's the soul which is seen. If the eyes could see, a dead man's eyes could see as well. But it does not see unless you transplant it into another man's eye sockets where there is a soul, which means the soul sees, not the body, not the eyes. So a brain can think only if the soul is in the body. A brain can't think of, a dead man's brain can't think, isn't it? Otherwise, you could have done brain transplantations also. We have not wasted, Einstein's brain. We should have taken it, isn't it? The brain did the thinking, but it's just a tool. So one thing is that all these parts of the body and the soul, while they are together, they work in certain tandem. Does not mean that they are bound by each other. Because if the soul wishes to, it can break the tandem. Now, for example, if there's a karma, okay, due to which, or the medicine due to which I'm feeling angry. I am feeling angry because a certain secretion has come in the body. Tell me that were this anger, is this reaction of anger uniform when a certain things happens in the body for different human beings?
Probably not.
Why not? Because the soul is different. If it were a world, automatic world, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction in a computer. It cannot vary. It's not variable. Every time I press A on my laptop, it will always type A. It will never type D. But taking the same medicine, different people react differently. Why? It should have been the same A every time, same kind of anger, image, exactly same response, which is not the case. Even doctors say, for that matter, that the same medicine being given to two different people with the same terminal disease, one can become completely all right because he has a great willpower, because his thought process is so positive, and the other person may die because he didn't want to live. What is making the difference? The soul. Have you heard of placebo effect?
Mhm.
The medicine is just a sugar pill. There is no external stimulus, but still the person either can be poisoned or can be cured out of placebo. How is that happening? Because the soul is what defines me, not the body, not the action reaction of the physical world. I can decide what I want to do and not. So, if somebody were to abuse me, okay, verbally abuse me, now, is it imperative? Is it compulsory that I have to get angry? It should annoy me.
No.
The normal reaction can be classified as most of the people will get angry. Most of the people will get annoyed. But if some people can still have the power to not get impacted, it means I was always calling the shots. When I'm weaker, I become vulnerable. If I'm not vulnerable, I will not be subjected to the external influence. So, this entire process of correcting our intention, our thought process, and attitude is to build up that internal immunity towards all the external influences. And when this internal immunity is created, nothing can ever force you to do something that you don't want to do. So you become immune to all the external influences, even to your body, even to the medicines, to the external diseases, to the concepts of anger, aversion, everything. That's possible. Did I answer your question, or some parts got missed out? Then you can highlight.
I think so. That answered the question.
Thank you.
Okay, Ravi, and actually to everybody. Who got out of this lecture? What is Veetragta?
The absence of desire, not having desire, or giving up your desire, but giving up rag.
Can somebody answer if he answered it correctly? Is that what Swanubhuti Ji told us about what is Veetragta?
Attachment.
More to it, yeah, Alka Ben.
No attachment, no rag, no dvesh. Is Veetragta.
Yeah, so you got it, Ravi. It's not just the desires. It's also no love, no hate. Okay.
I mean, ignorance, right? You cannot ignore the facts. Like, if somebody is in pain, well, I can't do anything. That's not the answer. Like, I mean, I can help out in some extent.
Do you want to answer that, Swanubhuti Ji? Does not no love, no hate means I cannot help anybody?
So
No.
it depends upon what stage we are at. So if I am a householder, and I also believe that Veetragta is the way to go, but I have certain kind of weaknesses still in terms of my attitude. Rag dvesh is there. While I believe it is not the right thing to do, but at the same time, I will still do certain things, which are in the purview of my current state. In that case, what in our state, what we will do is we will try to not do all the pap thing or as many pap thing as we can avoid. Do certain punya thing will actually happen even if you don't want to do it. It's not always voluntary. Do you know that? I mean, if you feel a lot of compassion for somebody, it's not because you want to feel, it is because you can't help feeling that. So it's just a reflection of your internal journey going from pap to punya. And eventually, I mean, if you talk from a sage's point of view, from a sadhu's perspective, if you talk from a arhant perspective, none of the arhant would be arhant if they had first gone out to make everybody happy in the world. Is that practically possible is the question. So there's one very good debate which happens on communism. So you know what is communism, right? It's a philosophy. Now, when you talk about communism, is it practical? Because what communist people say is that, I will own a car only when every person in the country has a car. Is that really practically possible? Look at the number of people. Look at, how many cars can be manufactured in a year. By the time you will have enough car manufactured so that every person can own one, the first car that was manufactured must have already expired. So practically speaking, is that possible? It's not possible. It's not feasible. Because I mean, there are a lot of grasshopper and ant stories, if you must have heard, that then some lazy people will be more lazier because I will not eat till everybody has food. Then I will have to starve because I am the person who's working hard. I am the worker. People who are lazing around, I have to wait and I have to feed them first. So certain things, while they sound right, they sound good. I would want that everybody in the world is happy. But then should I be happy when everybody is happy? Compassion will not let me be happy till everybody is happy. Even in a flight, if you can't save yourself, if the flight is crashing, you can't save yourself, you cannot save anybody else. They ask you to take the oxygen first. Because even if you have a child in your hand, you say, no, it's an infant. It's my responsibility to save the infant. If you can't save yourself, you can't save the child. So if Bhagwan Mahavir would have not, salvaged himself, the Divyadhwani would have never come about. He would have not been able to do the good that he's done so far, indirectly, unintentionally also. So we have to be practical. Compassion sounds good, feels good. Don't worry, all the punya things will happen in your life. That's how the journey works, from pap to punya and from punya to pure consciousness. But in our belief system, if you think that compassion or rag is the way to go, you will never achieve what you finally aim to achieve. And you will never find ultimate peace if you are dependent on the happiness of the entire world. Does the entire world even listen to you? Are they even in your control? If I depend my happiness on the happiness of my children, I will never be happy. Because my children don't even listen to me. Even if they are listening to me, there's a limit of how much they will follow what I'm saying and to what period they can follow what I'm saying. So if I depend myself on anybody for that matter, even on the health of my body, I will never be happy. I have to make myself bigger than everything. And that's pure detachment, and that will make me happy.
Okay, so my next question is, what is religion? That was one of the first few things she talked about.
You asking everybody or
Everybody, anybody can answer. What is religion?
religion is स्वभाव गुण जे मूड गुण स्वभाव.
Okay, very good. Very good. Now, Why should we believe in Veetragta?
That's our ultimate goal, to be happy.
Yes. And we just learned that Veetragta is the only way to accomplish the ultimate happiness. Right?
Shared our karmas too.
Was it Bhupendra Bhai trying to say something?
Yeah, that will shed.
We don't do Veetragta to shed the karmas specifically, but if there is Veetragta, the karmas do get shed. For example, if somebody were to, a guest were to come in my house, and if I keep entertaining the guest, he will stay longer. The guest will stay for a while and he'll feel neglected, ignored, and he will, finally just leave because he's not being entertained any longer. So karmas are similar, you can say, in a way that by doing pap or punya, by every moment, the kind of dispositions that we have, we keep adding to the power of karmas. The moment we start complete ignorance of all kind of fruits and the uday of karma, we start ignoring it. If there is no grease, it will shed off. So not that is my goal. The point is that I want to be free. So I am just, I want to be liberated. And this karma is the attachment itself. So I am letting go of the attachment, means I am free. Now that attachment is in a form bhav karma. So dravya karma is one, which is the inanimate part. The bhav karma is my own, dispositions, which are in the impure form. So the impure form of dispositions, I don't know, it may get a little complicated for few of you probably, but since we are short on time, I'm just trying to nail the points here. So the impure dispositions, they are the bhav karma. And what we really need to do is that if we believe that, this is not what my nature is, the attachment, you let go of the attachment. This is liberation, like literally.
Okay, there is another question for you, Swanubhuti Ji. Would a desire for knowledge, learning come in the way of attaining Veetragta?
Very good question. Desire of knowledge and learning does come in the way of Veetragta because it is a desire. Any form of desire, good, bad, shobha, shubh, whatever it is. Any desire means attachment, right? Desire means I want something. When you want something, it means I'm attached to it. You connected yourself to that. So, okay, let me just go a little out and give you an example here. In a house, who's usually responsible? Okay, forget house. Let's talk about this program right now. Who's responsible for this program? The success of this, program, the failure of this program, how well. Yeah. One of you can
Let's
just.
say Jain Society.
Sorry.
Let's say Jain Society of Pittsburgh. Jain Society of Pittsburgh.
No. I want the name of a person or a set of people. I know it's a very tricky question. Without you answering it, I will answer. Don't worry. I don't want you to get into fights after this. A person who's responsible for something is the person who feels he is responsible for it. Nobody forces you with any responsibility. It's you who decide that I'm responsible. The more you feel responsible, the more agitated, the more concerned, the more in control you feel. And the person who wants to let go of it will very easily just let go of it. If you feel not responsible for it, you have no responsibility. So attachment is exactly like that. You feel attached to it, you're bound. You want to get free. You want to set yourself free. Then you are the one who can set yourself free by not getting attached to anything. So, talking about knowledge. knowledge is of two types. One is elementary, which also should be called prayojan bhut. One is good to have but not necessary, which should be called aprayojan bhut. Now, when you say my desire for learning or knowledge is, I want to know how a great house is built, I want to know how a good car is built. This is also knowledge, this is also a learning. There are so many streams of learning. But knowing how to build a good house will not set me free. Knowing how to build a good car will not set me free. But knowing the true nature of the true self is an elementary, a prayojan bhut knowledge which will set me free, which will help me gain permanent independence. So, in the initial stage, if you have the desire for knowledge, for the basics, fundamentals, without which moksha or liberation or salvation is not possible, then from that perspective, you are right. That's good. It's required. Once it's finite, it's not infinite. It's very, very specific, very, very limited. Once you know this, then you are good to go. After that, if you still keep aspiring for more knowledge, for more learning, then that aspiration is hindering you to get your own freedom. So anything in excess is not good. Anything which is defocused is not good. So you have to focus yourself on the right knowledge, and only to that extent that it is necessary. Till then, you should feel that yes, it will not come in the way of your attaining Veetragta because it's a part of the process. But if it goes beyond it, stretches beyond it, it will start hindering it.
Okay. Now we have one more question from Alka Rambia. Alka, you can unmute and ask your question.
Janendra, Swanubhuti ji, I have a question. Since we all are still samsaric and we have responsibilities, that is, samsaric responsibilities, and of course we have ultimate goal of Veetragta, but can it be not misused or by letting go, you let go your responsibilities?
So Jainism is a very, very scientific
or
religion.
Confused by you confuse yourself letting go, and you let go the difficult things you need to do as a responsibility.
Yeah, you are right. I think you have, raised a very good point here, which people should be aware of, because these are the common pitfalls where we start suiting our knowledge to our convenience and not apply it in the right fashion we should. So, as per Jainism, there are shastras which are called Charnanuyog Shastra. So, it's very, very clearly written in them that at what stage, what is the thing that you should be doing and what is the right thing for you. It does not make it ultimately right. Say, for example, should I be a lenient mother all the time? Should I respect every wish of my child all the time? Do you think it's the right thing to do? I might have a lot of love. Does not mean because I'm rather doing bad. I'm spoiling the child by fulfilling every single wish of the child. So you would say that when your child is of a certain age, this is a certain manner in which you should be, treating your child. You have to be strict. You have to, do things which the child does not like. So in Jainism also, at different stages, there are different right and wrong things. I can't treat a 5-year-old same as I will treat a 25-year-old. I can't treat the 25-year-old as the 5-year-old. Both will be wrong. So if I'm a householder, my actions, my duties, my scope is very, very different. If I am an ascetic, if I've renounced the world, then the things, my duties will be different, my responsibilities will be different. So in the entire journey from where we are till the final salvation, we have to see what situation we are in. Like, for example, I am very religious. Should I get my child married or not? Because marriage is not increasing the chances of Veetragta, right? It is like increasing the chances of Rag. You're attaching the child to new person, to new responsibility. But in a stage, what my child is in and what I am in, I must get the child married. Because the child, while I may not say that certain kind of sentiments are the ideal sentiments, but he is or she is a human being with certain sets of aspirations in life, which will only be fulfilled if he or she gets married. Only then he or she will have a stability. So at different stage, different things are right, and they are not ultimately right. At next step, the same thing becomes wrong. 1 year old child I will pamper a lot. 5 year old I will start disciplining. 25 year old I will start being a complete friend and an equal mother altogether. So similarly, I mean, if you are a householder and you are renouncing your duties in the name of the religion, that's wrong. It's your responsibility. And if you didn't want to do that, and if you were so pure within, then why are you a householder still? Just because you didn't want to do the duties, you are remembering the religion. And when it comes to going around, doing holidays or watching movies or eating good food, then there is no duty there. So it has to be a wholesome, a treatment of your stage and what you do is right or wrong. While in your belief, you will still continue to hold what is right. In my belief, I don't want to unnecessarily discipline the child, or unnecessarily be strict, or unnecessarily try to not fulfill the wish. So there has to be a balance, and it takes a while getting the balance. We have to be true to ourselves at the right time. That's what I would say.
It is like this, that if your child is in pain, you help him, but you don't get the pain from, because he has a pain, you should not feel the pain.
Yeah, you're right. And see,
That's
feeling
what I
the
think,
pain, see, if you are still a mother or a father and you have the child is in pain, you don't you don't intentionally try to feel the pain. It is natural, it will happen to you. Most of the things, they happen to us. It's not what you're doing. What you do is you believe that whether they are happening is right or what is happening is wrong. That happening is just happening. It's not what you're doing. There's a thin line between the two things which we need to realize and understand. Like if I'm a householder, compassion will happen. I will feel like getting my child, married to the right person. It's very natural. It's not unnatural for me. But I know that even if I get my child married to the best person in the world, neither my child will always be happy in this, world, nor will I always be happy, because there is no happiness in this world only. As far as the bondage is there, the attachment is there, we can never be at peace. So these are two different.
But
this is
up
what
to
I
the
can't
extent
watch.
it is fine.
Sorry.
Up to the extent it is fine. Up to the extent feeling pain is fine. But when you lose your stability, you lose your
no. So there
control.
Is a difference. There is a difference.
Then that's bad.
See, when you take medicine, you have been taking medicine for the last 5 years. Are you fine with it? So you're fine. So you should continue taking the medicines for your entire life. You know every moment that I don't want medicines in my life. I want to get rid of all the medicines I can in my life. But it's your, you can say you're helpless because you have to take the medicine because you have to keep certain things in check. Now, how do you view the medicine? You view the medicine as hay, which is that I will not want to, I don't think it's a great thing to have. I don't want to take it lifetime. But I will take it till I have to take it because it is necessary. So all the duties of a householder are happening because they are necessary at that point in time. They are happening to you because it is required. But in your belief, you always want to get rid of them. Veetragta is your goal. In your belief, you will never be fine with anything. You will feel the pain, but you know it is wrong. It should not be happening. But it's fine because in this certain stage, it will happen. But does not mean that pain is good. Neither of your child, of yourself. You always want to get rid of it in your belief. That's what is the most important aspect to have.
Does that answer your question, Alka? You're muted, Alka.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, good. So if there's any other questions from the audience, you can just message in the chat or just raise your hand. Okay, so if nobody has any questions, since we are already close to 11 o'clock at night, I'm not going to take any more time. I think it was a great session. She covered a lot. There's still a lot to know. I mean, even practically, the biggest thing about this is that Swanubhuti Ji takes Jainism, even the deep knowledge of Jainism, on a practical level. Something that we can follow, something that we can ponder upon day to day, and which is of course very, very needed in our day to day lives. So I'll turn it over to Alkabe to do the thank you note. And
Jai Jinendra. Thank you very much, Swanubhuti ji. It was very enriching session, and we really appreciate your time. We know how busy you are, but still you spare this time for us, and we really appreciate it. And in the future, we would certainly like to have you again. And think about it, and next time we will schedule you again, because we really enjoyed your session, and we will get good benefit out of it. Like, it will enrich our knowledge. And today's topic was great, and it was really enjoyed by everyone. I think I could say for everybody that they all like it. So please do consider to have you give us chance again. Thank you very much.
Sure.
And from Jain Society of Pittsburgh, we are really appreciate your effort to give us a nice lecture on Veetragta.
Thank you. Jai Jinendra.
Pranam.
Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra. Pranam.
Jai Jinendra.